About 11 or 12 years ago, I was down in Arkansas for Thanksgiving week. I was with my two kids, with a man I was dating and his kids, visiting his parents who had a house in that area. And the house was set on this beautiful hill overlooking a lake and just forest and trees. And during the day, during the days, the kids would just be outside the entire day. We would barely see them, just exploring and making leaf piles, and they just had a jolly good time. Comes a time for Thanksgiving dinner, and we're sitting around the table. And as many people do in a tradition, everyone goes around and says what they're thankful for, what they're grateful for. And everyone was not super emotional, but as you go around the table and people share that they're so thankful for us being here, or thankful for family, thankful for the relationships that we have, everyone's getting a little misty eyed by the end. We swing around the table, and there was maybe seven of us there. And Nicholas, my, I believe, 6 year old at that time, was last. And so just this emotional time, we're sharing all these beautiful thoughts, and it comes to Nick. We're like, Nick, what are you thankful for? And he doesn't miss a beat, and he says, I'm thankful I got to pee on a tree. So we all started laughing. Um, Today, on the release of this podcast, it will be Thanksgiving Day. I won't make this a super long podcast because I'm sure many of you are busy cooking, or busy spending time with family, or busy getting delivery to your house because you're maybe only spending it with 4 people instead of 20 people this year. It's a strange year. This year's been a strange, it's been a strange year. Um, I I try, when things are not great in a lot of the categories of my life, or the people around me, or the people I love, or their struggles or stress, I try to dig into gratitude even more than I usually do. I think living a life of gratitude and being very intentional about that, I'm sure I've talked about it multiple times on the podcast already, but looking for things to be grateful. I believe that what we look for and what we have our eye out for, we will find it. If we believe that the world is against us, and people are mad at us and people are rude to us, you are going to find it. If you believe that the world is good, mostly good, and you believe that nature is beautiful, and you believe that each day is a gift, and you believe that the people in your life are something to be cherished on a regular basis, and you focus on those things, you're just going to see them more often, and you're going to create a happier, healthier, just nicer life. So on this Thanksgiving, I would like you all to take a little moment, maybe 5 minutes if you have it, if you can find it, and write down some of the things that you should be more focused on. Instead of always talking about the negative things going on in this world, in politics, in the news, in your own family, maybe financially. And all of us are going to be at a little different place. What's really being felt by one family is not going to be felt by someone else, and vice versa. So my list of kind of the core things that I come back to when I'm feeling stressed, or when the list of things going on in our lives is so long that it kind of makes me a little nauseous to say it all out loud at one time, um, is a warm house. It's myself, Jason, our children being healthy. It's it's surrounding ourselves with family and friends who we love, whether we can be with them in person. We actually just did a family Zoom call with my dad, stepmother, and sister last night. And it's funny, we don't live anywhere close to each other. And we actually don't normally spend Thanksgiving or Christmas together. My sister owns a coffee shop out in Estes Park, Colorado. Little shout out to Kind Coffee if you're up in Estes Park. Awesome coffee shop. I also order coffee from them, kindcoffee.com. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's organic, it's fair trade. So you're supporting a local business and just good quality coffee, which everyone loves good quality coffee. Anyway, she lives there. And then my dad and his wife live in New Jersey, and I live in Chicago. And it's been like that for a really long time, at least 2 decades. So we're not used to having to navigate getting together on the holidays. But what's one thing that's been nice through COVID is every 3 or 4 weeks, we do a Sunday night Zoom call for an hour and a half. And to be honest, we're spending more time looking at each other eye to eye than we usually do because of that. So that's been something I've been grateful for, is having that vehicle for all of us so far away to be able to connect on a more regular basis than it just being, twice a year that we see each other for a few days. Um, Friendships. I am really thankful for friendships this year. Again, I haven't always been able to see people in person that I wanted to, but just knowing that I can check in and say, man, I'm having a rough day. Or I woke up yesterday, I woke up and I just was sad. It was gloomy out. Um, I felt sad for kind of the loss of Thanksgiving in our family. Jason's family, we've had a number of deaths in the past 2 years, which has kind of drastically whittled down the amount of people around a Thanksgiving dinner table. And with COVID, the main family that remains isn't able to come because they have we've got an older uncle that they're just not comfortable being around more people. So that's been really sad. And I feel for Jason. I feel for his losses. I feel for businesses. I feel for, there's just a lot. There's a lot of heaviness in the air. And I just couldn't get myself out of it. And finally, it was about noon. I looked at Jason. I said, I'm going to put myself back to bed. I said, I think I need a reset. I think I need to redo on this morning. And I went to bed and I fell asleep like really quickly at noon. And I woke up at 1 and I felt like I was reset and the sun magically had come out. And I walked downstairs. I was like, all right, this is better. So sometimes you need a little reset if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And that seems to be happening a little more this year. So my friends, I'm so thankful that I have a number of really close friends that I can reach out and say, hey, I'm having a rough day, or can I talk to you about something? And people are there for you. They want to be there for you. So if you're having a bad day, reach out. Instead of sitting on your couch or doing, taking care of your kids all day and not finding a way to connect with someone else that can help lift you up, or at least just say, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of you, or sending you a virtual hug. Another thing I'm really grateful for is nature and sunshine. Again, we live in the Chicagoland area, so the winters can get a little bit dull and gray and cold. So when that sun is out, I take advantage of it. I try to get outside, try to go for a walk. In my family room, we have these really big picture windows, and in the middle of winter, we can just see all the birds in the trees and squirrels. And I have these 2 big trees in my backyard. I believe they're called Osana orange trees, and they drop these really awful green balls. The balls kind of look, it sounds awful. They look like brains, like it's kind of the brain tissue. It looks like that. And then they're a little bit sticky and a little bit hairy. And they're the size of like a softball. When I moved into the house, I didn't know that these were going to come down, and like hundreds of them came down. And one of my neighbors kind of looks at me through the fence and says, yeah, they didn't tell you about this when they sold you the house, did they? I said, no, they didn't. But anyway, we found a positive out of it. We take all of these green balls and we stack them up either in our garden. Now we have a garden. Before we had a garden, we stacked them up on like, we have woods next to our house. We stacked them right on the other side of the fence, and it would be this huge big pile of these green balls. And all winter long, these squirrels would just be on this pile, just eating away. That was their food. And so we would call it the Henry and Harriet show. So anytime that we see squirrels, they're either Henry or Harriet. We tend to name animals, like sea turtles or Timmy. And I think we just sit there and watch like the nature show in the morning drinking coffee. We see cardinals, we see bunnies, we see butterflies, we see squirrels. And I think some people just, it's there, it's all there. But if you're not plugged into it, if you're not plugged in, I call it plugging into nature. If not plugged into nature, sometimes you're going to miss it, right? Sometimes it's, I run outside to go grab something and it's nighttime and the moon is out and I just look up and I'm just sit there in amazement. And so I would encourage you to, during these times of gratitude, consider nature, consider what's all around you in this world, consider those friends and families that you love. We had to put my little Ruby cat down this year, but we have fish. But many of you have wonderful pets that fish don't snuggle with you all that much. I have a baby Yoda now. It's a it's a stuffed animal, but I guess it's as close as I'm going to get to snuggling with a pet right now. But just being grateful for the things in our lives that make our lives happy, because it is all around us, even when we're struggling. So I'd like to take this moment to wish all of you a very, very happy, healthy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. And if you're struggling, if all those things on my list are not on your list, I'm wishing and sending positive healing light your way. Um, like I said, it's been a rough year. And I think the more we can collectively try to find some of the silver linings and some of the good parts for it, the better we will all be. Hope you enjoy this day with your family and or friends. And if you're just having a little gathering, I hope you can find a way to truly plug into that and enjoy it. Have a great day.